Hello, welcome back. Tonight I will speak about Clauneck. I will continue our discussion. This is a recording part of a playlist where I talk about Clauneck. It is a very interesting character, and say, well, the name Clauneck has an origin, and it comes from the book of King Solomon Ars Goetia. Clauneck appears and say, well, he is a spirit, no? At the same time, well, Clauneck is not only in spirit. He has a physical form as well, or different physical forms, no? They say, well, maybe there are two different ways he looks. It is something unique about him. Sometimes he appears as in the picture in this black, with a black skin which symbolizes the darkness or the element of origin, or something sacred or ancient. And sometimes he appears white. To say, well, the features of Clauneck don't change much. The same beauty and the same person, it is him, no? You can see that it is him. It's not a question that it is not him. But that's a very interesting aspect of Clauneck. He appears in the white form and in the dark form skin as well. In the other recordings we spoke about the candles. The candle is very important when it comes to Clauneck. The candle or candles, the same way as the mirrors, it's always plural. Or the element of the high ceiling, as we see in the palace, or that the high or long hallways, that's very much the idea of space, of something big, something very beautiful, very ornamental, no? There's the element of the ornaments. Then we spoke about the element of the king, and of his name. Of course, it's a very beautiful recording where I talk about the name of Clauneck. If you want to listen to the entire playlist from the beginning, there is a link in the description box. And tonight we will continue, of course, to speak about Clauneck. It is always a very interesting experience for me as well. And say, well, I do enjoy to talk about him or think about Clauneck or see the different features that he carries. It is very intriguing, it is very beautiful, and it is very inviting. It is very naturaleza, the aspect of naturalidad. The natural, but in more, I like the Spanish word because when I speak about naturalidad or naturaleza, you have the name nature inside. It speaks about nature. The different nature, the different aspects of the nature, the same way, the different aspects of Clauneck. Sometimes he appears as this dark panther. We see him in the photo, the element of the night, of the dark spirit of that night, of that fierce spirit of the night. We say, well, it is the day and the night. There is the aspect of Clauneck. He is the type of person, you always see him in a way different. There is something unique, and the way he carries himself, it is his own creation, it is his own being, no? The way he dresses is very similar. They are not, even in these two different figures that he appears, it is him. It is the same way of being, the same way he arranges himself, the same way he sits, the same way he talks, the same features he has. But the aspect of the skin are, of course, somehow a little bit different. So there is the element always a little bit different. There's always something new. There's always something inviting. There's always something, can be even something provocative. We have spoken about the French aspect of Clauneck. It is the words of exquisite, plaisir, connoisseur, but very much focused on the plaisir. On pleasure. Plaisir is pleasure, but a special pleasure. That's why the French word represents it more beautifully. Plaisir. What I liked most was, for me, the element of the candles and the element of that palace, of that space, the element of the beautiful mirrors, that long hallway that I felt almost like endless or could be very large, that room very spacious, very beautiful, with a different decoration, that very beautiful style. As I said, it is Baroque, it is Jugend style or Renaissance, it is connected to the Italian or French Renaissance. And in this element of the Renaissance or Jungian style, or there are different currents of history, of fashion, or of design. It enters in more areas of the creation aspect. No, say, well, it can be this, it can be this. It appears in fashion. It can appear in different ways. No, in music, it can appear in different colors, different aspect. But for me, the most beautiful was that palace, that aspect of Clauneck, that place where he resides, the place where he is. The palace is very much connected to Clauneck. And of course, the element of the fire, the element of the candles, the beautiful atmosphere that the candles create. That dim light, that beautiful light, it's a very soft light. The light of a candle is very poetic, very beautiful, it's very harmonious. No, it warms, it gives light. It is a natural light. It is the light. The light of a candle is the light. No, it is not artificial light. Other aspects I will say are, of course, the colors or the different symbols that I have talked about already, but there is always an interesting aspect of the element of the king that's connected to Clauneck, or the prince, the element of the lion, of the rose. There's all element of the king or element of the power of the king. And of course you say, well, it does fit, no? The king, we have the palace, so you say, well, a king has a palace, no? We imagine a king in a palace. But you say, well, it is not every type of king. Clauneck is a special type of king. He is a unique king, no? So I say, well, Clauneck is very much about that element of him, of who he is. It is not so much about being the king, it's about what he enjoys as a king. He lives his duty free. It is a free duty of him. It is what gives him pleasure. It is not a duty for him. So we see the element of the free spirit. It is a very, as I've said, naturalidad, naturaleza. And there's always a softness that comes to him as well. There's always it's that aspect of the night, where there is some type of music playing somewhere that's soft. There's something that creates pleasure, but in a very natural way, not in a forced way. It is a very ambiental type of pleasure. So Clauneck is very much connected to the elements of the pleasure. They say, well, yeah, if we understand the king only for its duty is wrong, no? The king always has to have the pleasure. The king should have the pleasure. The king should be entertained as well. No, it's the element of the king receiving as well. So you say, well, the king does welcome, no, and offers that ambient of his, that element of his as well. They say, well, the king too has to be celebrated, or should be celebrated. We have the element of the dark blue royal aspect of Clauneck, or the red, very passionate, beautiful red of his lineage, or the connection to the king as well. And of course the element of the gold we see on his chairs, that decoration aspect, that it is all part of Clauneck being king. But as I've said, the pleasure of being a king. Clauneck knows how to be a king and to enjoy being a king. There are two different aspects that he manages very well. So we say, well, the king has its own pleasures as well, of course, no? The king should delight in his own pleasures. The king should be pleasured. The king should receive pleasure. That's the aspect of Clauneck. We say, well, even his name creates a special clang, a special sound. We say, well, even his name carries that magic of Clauneck. It is that gaze that, or that moment that not a lot happens, but it's that moment of respiro that you can take everything in. You know, it's that moment you're outside on the balcony, and maybe inside a lot of people talking, there's a lot happening, but you go outside and there's only you, and you look at the sky and you're alone, and that element of respiro when you are with yourself, that is the element of Clauneck as well. That's what he masters. He masters that ability of him being the king that he is, in the same time by not wearing the crown of the king, the heaviness of the king. So, well, what is good a king if he cannot enjoy being a king? The element of pleasure. That's the most important aspect, and it is the correct one. We say, well, Clauneck is not a foolish king. The element of pleasure, as I've said. But the connoisseur of pleasure. We say, well, what do I enjoy? You know, we say, well, that element of reflection, of respiro, of enjoying something, in that moment, it is very special, it is very unique. One should enjoy it. So, say, there is always a certain glaze or a certain type of trance that comes with Clauneck as well. As I've said, he is a magician. One has to know first and foremost that Clauneck is a magician. Of course, that entails having the powers of a magician. He has the alluring power. It is a very beautiful aspect of Clauneck as well. And I think it is a very honorable and honest aspect of Clauneck as well. The element of pleasure. And you know, this of course changes a little bit. Say, well, there is always a difference or a different aspect that Clauneck manages to be individual and unique. You say, well, that's a quality that maybe others admire in him. It is a quality that maybe few have. So, well, even to make others feel good around you, it is a quality. And, you know, Clauneck, of course, is connected to the element of space, of air, or something, the moment of quietness or stillness, but it is not stillness, it is something that is revealed in that moment, if one is able to see. It is a magic trick. If Clauneck opens something for you, and if you're able to see it, you can enjoy it in the way the magician wanted you to enjoy it. It is a gift, it is a pleasure, it is pleasure. You say, well, there are softer colors, maybe it is a softer blue. It is, you will feel that moment. It is a moment that one knows or can feel, and that moment is very much Clauneck. At the same time, it could be even a moment of high pleasure or very fast. You say, well, the moment you see something that surprises you or takes you not prepared, but it's a pleasant thing that happened, or a reaction of yours. It can be something that, you know, it's like exhalia, or you exhale, or you have some type of sound, something unexpected, something joyful or funny, or, you know, that element of that that something comes out, that it is enjoyable as well, the element of pleasure. And in the same time, another aspect of the king that maybe many don't speak, or maybe it's a little more hidden, is the element of the loneliness of the king. The king is finally lonely. I say, well, the king knows that he is lonely. No, that's the aspect of the king. And to say, well, if the king is lonely, in some way or another, he gets to spend more time with himself, or maybe with certain type of people, but it is a more because also Clauneck spends time by himself. It is the place where he is, or what he chooses. And say, well, the moment of him being by himself in a specific place or in a specific way, it is to say the way he likes to be or live. You say the pleasure of life, or the good things in life. Of course, there is a certain sympathy or melancholy as well. To say Clauneck does carry those aspects as well. That, well, he does have objects of affection, or he does carry, of course, a lot of beautiful stories as well. And so, well, the first gaze on Clauneck, it is a little bit at a distance. So, well, it is a correct fight, or it is a correct expression of getting to know one another. It is at a certain distance. It is balanced. It gives us enough room or space to reflect, or, enjoy the moment. As to say, that element is very much Clauneck. If you want to listen to the playlist from the beginning, there is a link in the description box. The book of Clauneck I plan to write. I already started to work on the Grimoire of Clauneck, and it is very interesting. Of course, I'm curious too as well what different new elements will come into the story, or how the story will evolve. Thank you so much for listening. I will continue another time. Until next time, thank you very much. Bye.